playing over and over and over again. All I see is negativity on my TV screen. Seem like everyone is filled with pain, and hurt can turn to rage into blame. I feel like coping with a cigarette. I'm tired of the hate, but deep inside I feel like things will never change, no. 'Cause I'm not giving up, no way. No, I'm not giving up. No way. I'm not giving up. No way. Tomorrow's on the way. Ooh, sometimes it's way too much to handle, but something's gotta give. Oh, but I can't do this all by myself. So let's enjoy this life that we live. The more you give in life, the more you get. Only love can heal the hate. But deep inside, I feel like things will never change, no. 'Cause I'm not giving up. No way. No, I'm not giving up. No way. I'm not giving up. No way. Tomorrow's on the way. Tomorrow's on the way. And there's so much good to find if we open up our eyes. Peace on earth can be the prize if we all just try. And I'm not giving up. No way. No, I'm not giving up. No way. No way. No, I'm not giving up. No, I'm not giving up. No way. Tomorrow's on the way. Tomorrow's on the way. No, I'm not giving up. No way. No, I'm not giving up. No way. I'm not giving up. No way. Tomorrow's on the way. Tomorrow's on the way.
What's up, sexy people? 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 I am so happy to be here tonight. You know, like my shirt says, I don't know if y'all can read it. Let that shit go. I jumped off of IG Live because I know, and it was like people were coming, but you know, I'm trying to really get accustomed to using the Worth TV platform, because that is where I want people to come and check us out. Y'all, we got so much to talk about tonight. First of all, shout out to everybody following me on all the different platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. All the people who are coming over from IG Live or click that link in my bio. Thank you so much, you guys. We have so much good stuff to talk about. I'm going to try to keep it real short and sexy tonight. I didn't even hit y'all with an intro because I got to get right into my panel. I'm about to bring on the chairman of the board for From the Bottom Up Foundation, Miss Pamela Price. She is one of my favorite people in the world. She's working real hard. We got some really good news. Y'all, we got some good news. And then we have some not so good news. We have some really sad news. Um, and I'm gonna, share this sad news with y'all too. And y'all know how I do. At the end of the broadcast, I am going to share the juicy stuff, right? So I was trying to get this information cleared so that I could share it with y'all tonight. I'm sorry, but I can't. But I will say this: I have been really quiet in this R. Kelly trial, this R. Kelly situation. People who know me, work closely with me, know, at one point, R. Kelly and I were going to work together, and he was going to work on the Soul Kittens Cabaret musical project. And I had an experience where I actually spent some time with R. Kelly, and I spent some time at the studio, the infamous, Chocolate Factory space, and I wanted to share some things, but I'm going to wait and make sure that legal can clear everything, and we'll probably share that next week. But I do have a personal experience that I would like to share that I think is important for me to share, you guys. So listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick before I bring Pam on. This is a setup. So tonight I done cooked. Y'all don't believe me? I'm about to prove it to y'all. Hold on, let me prove this to y'all right to the now. Okay, y'all, listen here. So I'm really a Renaissance woman, right? I fried up some chicken. Hold on, where we at? I fried up some chicken tonight, y'all, and I did it with this new like lemon, what do you call it, air fryer stuff, and it just did not work, right? So I flipped it and I put it in my cast iron skillet. I made some Cracker Barrel macaroni and cheese, and what else? I made some potato salad. I tried to make potato salad and ham club, which is absolutely delicious. And those are my wilted flowers for my sweet and the hot sauce. Why am I showing y'all all that? I'm showing y'all all that because I'm a real Renaissance woman, and I'm really gonna make sure my family eat before I do all this other stuff. And that's the reason my hair looks like this. And this is also probably the reason why this was not planned, y'all. This was so not planned. Was it not planned?
Not at all.
Not at all. It was not planned. Y'all, this is Pamela Price. Lucia is about to come up next. Let's get Lucia in this chat so we can get it popping. That's Lucia Ash. She is my producer partner. She has worked with me for many, many years. And I wanted some really smart women on this subject with me tonight. And the subject is entertainment, the fact that we are capitalizing off of Black trauma. Before we get into our story about, our conversation, about Black trauma and whether or not we are capitalizing off of it, I want to share some really disheartening news. It is actually heartbreaking. To say that it's heartbreaking would be a small thing. There is, hold on here, let me find it right now. We're manning this board. So as many of you may be aware, Maya, hold on, let me see. I did this wrong. All right, you guys, here we go. Her name is Mia Marcano, is missing or was missing. Unfortunately, this beautiful, beautiful soul was in fact, well, police believe that they have actually found her body. And I have some tape that I would like to roll from her family and their plea. Take a listen.
Are you looking for Mia? I said, who are you? He said, I'm the maintenance guy. I heard you're looking for me.
If you can hear me, if you're seeing me, we're here. We're coming. Hold on.
Are you looking for Mia?
That is so heartbreaking.
I said, who are you?
I am.
I'm the maintenance guy.
Unfortunately,
I heard you're looking for me.
We did not find her the way we wanted to. This missing women and girls issue is a really big deal. And, we had a conversation with Sheriff Ralph Ray Washington last week, and he talked about the importance of speaking up. Like, if you see something, then you should absolutely say something. So, Pamela, can you tell us where we are? We got the good news. The other really great news, in fact, is that we did find out that there are some women that have been found. We're verifying it right now. So I'm going to ask Pam to give an update and to also let you know if there is anyone out there that you know that is missing, how they can reach out to our foundation and give us those details.
Yes, yeah, really, really sad news about Maya, unfortunately. Um, and really just again, we really want to that's the reason why we want to get more of these stories out here. So hopefully we can find our missing girls and women sooner, and get them safely returned to their family and their loved ones, which we have. Luckily, since last week's episode, we actually did have families reach out. One was for Aaliyah Harmon, and was in Detroit, and her family said she was actually safely found, and has returned home. So that's great news. On the other front, because we really put a lot of work in last week to kind of update the site, so there's links on the website now that you can hopefully give us some praise reports and let us know that your loved one has been found if they're on the site. But also, if there's just more information, or if you are not on the site and you want us to actually put a spotlight on your loved one that's missing, which we had two new spotlights go up this weekend. One is for 41-year-old Deirdre Reed. She's a mother of three. She's out of Pageland, South Carolina, and it's definitely based on the reports that have come out of the police department there. They are suspecting some foul play, but again, the family right now is really just focused on hopefully getting her safely returned. They have set up a $10,000 reward. So if you go to from the bottom up foundation .org / our missing, you'll be able to see a link with the information to contact the family of Deidre, as well as the Pageland, South Carolina um, Police Department, and provide them with any tips. If you've seen anything suspicious, they've got a really, really good description of her vehicle. Again, as they are leaning towards some foul play at hand. And then another spotlight that we put up this week is for Janae Riley. Janae Riley is actually 35 years old, and same thing. Her family reached out, Nikki, to one of your posts on IG. So one of the good times when social media works the way you want it to work. And so they've reached out. We got the information from them as well as the Jacksonville Sheriff County, because she's missing out of Jacksonville, Florida. And this is one of those that's very similar to unfortunately what a lot that their, you know, initial reports were not taken too seriously. She's family last heard from her July 4th of 2020. So we're talking about over a year that this family has not heard anything from her, and every lead that has been, given to this point has kind of turned up and led to a dead end. So same thing. If you go to our website, you can get more information about how to contact the family as well as the local authorities. The one thing that I have noticed, sadly, as we've put more stories up, as we've scoured to find more stories. For example, with Deirdre Reed, when we pulled up her information, there were maybe two news articles or stories, and these were all local outlets who picked up her story. I did a Google search, same day, same time, for Gabby Petito.
Mm-hmm.
She has a page, not only is it a page full of articles, stories, videos, she's in a top story category for Google. And
Top
again,
story.
sadly,
We know
yeah,
why
top
that
story.
happens. Yeah.
And that's the disparities that we are working really, really hard to shine a light on. Because same thing, Deirdre went missing, um, supposedly taking an ex um, uh, boyfriend to the bus station, or he canceled his ticket. He's safely, back home. She's nowhere to be found. Vehicle is missing. So again, there's a lot to unpack there, obviously, but very similar to what we've heard so far in terms of, the Gabby Petito story, that there potentially was an ex-boyfriend or boyfriend involved. And so, um, it really begs to differ why such a gap in the disparities. And here, Deidre's family is putting up a $10,000 reward, and they still aren't garnering the level of attention. She's been missing since September the 3rd of this year. And that's what we really are just trying to do. Which again, I could not be prouder to,
Yes.
be a part of this, of
Yep.
using work, of using C65, of using from the bottom up, because it's just
Yeah.
so important. You just never know, you know, whose child, whose sister, whose aunt, whose mother, could potentially be next. So,
Right.
please keep, connecting with us on social media as well as on the website.
Awesome sauce. Good work, ladies. Lucia is also on the board of From the Bottom Up Foundation, and she and I work together on many, many projects, some of which you can watch on worthtv.com right now and our new YouTube channel. Well, not new YouTube channel, rebranded YouTube channel, worth.tv. I love doing this work. I know that it is not as exciting for a lot of people. I know that it's not as salacious. I think, shout out to all the drama that happened last week, because all that drama that happened last week, lost my earring. Oh, well, one earring. All that drama that happened last week got a lot of attention for the cause. We got over 100, I think we're up to about 130,000 people who actually watched the video. And I noticed that under the post, and if you guys look at the post, you'll notice under the post, there are a bunch of people who are saying that they're okay and they've been found. So praise God for the platform and the work that we're able to do. Missing women is a real problem. I know there was a whole big thing last week, and you can check out, I had a chance to appear on The Real. Thank you. Shout out. Woo, 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 woo. Let me get some love to the ladies from The Real for, wait, where's my DJ horn? Hey, whoop, 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 whoop. Shout out to the ladies on The Real for giving me the opportunity to come and share my story, and in the process brought a lot of attention to what we're trying to do. So I know that that wasn't necessarily something that people were excited to participate in, some folks at least, but we got a lot of good work done. So Pam, I know you have an early morning. I'm actually jumping on the plane first thing in the morning too, but I want to commit to making sure that we do these episodes, because we said we was gonna do them, but we gonna do them because it's real important at Worth TV.
Yes,
You feel me?
yes, yes, we are.
So on the other updates front, one of the things that we're really excited about is the work that we do with victims of sexual assault and molestation. Lucia is my partner. We did a film together. I'm going to show you guys the trailer for that film project, and we're going to talk about this film project, and we're going to talk about why so much negativity in our world, why there's so much, why it has to bleed to lead, right? So Lucia Ash,
yes, ma'am.
I want to ask you, sis, what do you think, why do you think it is so important for this industry to show the very worst side of who we are? You've worked with Tyler Perry, you've worked with so many incredibly talented people. In your opinion, why is it that it has to bleed in order to lead, or it has to be full of drama in order to be compelling?
I think overall, people want to be entertained, and if it's something outside of their lives, then it has the potential to entertain them, whether it's negative or positive. So, and sadly, the negative not only entertains, but it garners all kinds of other attention. So the blog attention, the entertainment show attention, the talk show attention, both night and day, mm-hmm. And even a lot of times regular news attention if it's negative. So much less of the positive that's great in our lives garners that kind of attention. But it's a double-edged sword, because I think that if it's affecting people's lives negatively, the more people that know about it, much to what the sheriff said last week, the more people that know that these things are these negative things are happening in the world, as far as women being snatched and the sex trafficking and how these things happen. Because if it's not in your world, if it's not happening to you, you don't know how it happens. You don't know that seeing a woman who won't connect with you and won't make eye contact could possibly be a sex trafficking victim. You don't know that if you don't pay attention to what the news tells you until someone has experienced it. So it's a double-edged sword. It's you don't want to shine a light on negativity. However, we need to see it if it's not in our daily lives so that we can pay attention to it and recognize it when it's in front of us so that we have the opportunity to say something. I didn't know that whole thing about women, being with a man and not giving you eye contact when you walk past could be a sign that they've been abducted or being
So
sexually.
they're potentially with a trafficker or something. There, is this something that they instruct them not to do? Like when you come around, you don't look at anybody. Is that?
I think it's probably both. I think they don't want to bring attention to themselves in order to get their trafficker or their abductor to treat them negatively or pull them closer, and they probably instruct them to do it also. So that they don't bring attention to themselves, even though it does. Like I've seen it twice, probably in the last 6 years or so, and I've called the police about it. I was
You've actually seen people at the airport?
No,
traveling?
at the rest stop. I was driving. My parents and I were driving from New York to southern New Jersey near Pennsylvania, and we stopped at a rest stop, and I saw a young black girl with a white young man, and he was he was holding her close, and he didn't have her by the arm, but it was almost like he almost had her by the arm. And she and I had an opportunity to have eye contact, and she would not look at me. And I was like, something doesn't feel right about that. Something doesn't feel right about the interaction that I had with this young lady and how tight he's holding her and kind of whisking her out of this rest stop. And I called the police. Now, I didn't have an opportunity to look at his license plate, but I did see obviously the color and the kind of car they got into. And I also didn't want to make it obvious in case, I didn't want his antenna to go up like, ooh, someone's watching us. So I was trying to be kind of covert about it. But I did call the police. I talked about what they look like, the car, whatever I could do, and which direction, or they could only leave one direction out of the rest of it. I did what I could. And that's only because I saw on the news or saw on some like Dateline or something like that, where they said, if you see this kind of scenario, say something.
Oh, wow.
Right. And that's the sign of sex trafficking or someone being abducted. So I did it, and I don't know if anything came of it, but I felt like I did the right thing. That's it.
Yep, absolutely. And it's what Sheriff Ralph Ray Washington said in last week's show. If you see something, say something. It is so important. I know, again, the situation with Kelly wasn't, a case where she was missing or abducted or anything, but I don't regret speaking out. I don't think anybody does, because I think that's what we have to do in our community. Yes. But I am wondering whether or not these cases of women who are not really missing, and that's one thing that I've heard a lot of, that they're, cops often think, oh, she's just, didn't want to be home, or, she ran away from a bad situation and she's okay. And I just want to reiterate that I would rather be wrong than regret having reached out. So kudos to you, Lou, for, at least trying to make contact with her. And one of the other things that stood out in the conversation with the sheriff is that the social media activity, and I believe one of the ladies, Pam, I think I was reading where one of the women whose sister is abducted here in Georgia, who said that she was not getting a lot of attention, used to be, did she say she used to be in her past life, she was a stripper, and there were a few other things, you know what I mean? So they were looking at her like, oh, okay, maybe she's just out in these streets living her life. And excuse me, I think that is so dangerous. And that's the reason why Black women go missing all the time, is because people just assume that we don't want to be bothered, or that we have some kind of nefarious, situation going on because of what we do for a living. But I will say that what we see on television every single day, what we see in the media every single day, what we hear in music every single day is questionable. And I want to play something for y'all because I would like to know your thoughts. Now, I try to stay off of this Lil Nas X subject. I really do. because I understand that I might not get it all the way. But I want to kind of spin this a little bit. When our kids are looking at things in the media, in the press, and in music, well, you know what? Take a look at the video and then let's just kind of go into it after that.
Hold on, I think it's coming. I think the baby's coming.
Okay. So ladies, I don't know if y'all saw he is a full pregnant man. Let me read this because I think we might not. I don't know if y'all saw the beginning because that's the biggest part for me.
I think the baby's coming.
What do you say to that? He is a
hold on.
pregnant woman and a demonic stripper.
Nikki,
Now,
hold
we
on.
know. So we know that, you know, maybe it's just entertainment, but you have kids, Sam. I'm gonna put you on the spot. How do you explain? And again, this is not an attack on Little Nas X, but how do you explain to your children who Little
Wow.
Nas X is and what he's doing?
So first, let me preface this by this. So I think to some of what Lucia just said, that I think entertainment can be this double-edged, sword. But I think it can be swung either way. I think it definitely can be used as a tool to educate and enlighten us and make us aware of certain things. And then I think it also then can do the opposite to where it is a trigger for trauma or for other negative things that are truly, happening in, many of our, lives and families and communities. As a parent, um, there are instances to where I believe that entertainment becomes something that is warped and it begins to replace real life and it begins to replace kind of social norms and things in a negative way. Um, it puts even more onus, and I agree the onus should be there as a parent
Hold on, I think it's
of what
coming.
we expose
I
our
think the baby's
children
coming.
to and what our children see. I know his first song that came out was something that played constantly just on the radio. It was everywhere, and my younger twins loved the song because to them it was just about a cowboy. Again, it was from a 7-year-old's perspective. There really hasn't been much since that original song that I would allow them to listen to. Um, my oldest, who's 19, you know, again, even those spark different conversations. And I think that's what we have to be careful of is that if we don't do our due diligence, or if entertainers, actors, producers, directors, whatever, do not do their due diligence when they are putting out things that are meant to be entertaining and they're meant to speak to perhaps a certain audience, I think they have to make sure that they're providing the balance and the context so that people can know, hey, look, this is for this. This is was meant to serve this purpose. Because it can look really, you know, challenging and difficult to say, is this just a marketing thing? Are these things really connected to provide, again, some education to raise some awareness? I'm all
Right.
for inclusivity. I'm all for definitely tearing down stigmas and norms about what it means to be
Absolutely.
LGBTQAI plus. Like I'm all for that, but there's a level of responsibility that comes with it because there are
Absolutely.
conversations I shouldn't have to have with my 7, 8-year-old twins simply because it was something that they saw and or perhaps heard, somewhere else. And then now I've got to have a conversation about the fact that, well, men can't have babies. They've seen my belly. They've seen pictures of my belly, which was a little odd to kind of see that they've
Right,
seen my belly.
exactly. And now you have to explain. And that's the bigger thing for me because I think about it with Braylon all the time. I think about it with my little nephews and nieces. Like, how do you explain what's going on in the entertainment industry to children? And you have to explain that to children because kids don't have the ability to, a lot of kids, some kids do, But most children don't have the ability to determine what is real from what is entertainment and what is fake, right? And I believe in artistic expression. I think artistic expression is really important, and I think censorship is whack, which is why we have all sorts of opinions on this show. But there's a very fine line between artistic expression and censorship. And I think when you got these kids, like you said, really excited about this Old Town Road song and video because I was super excited about it. And then you put them in a situation where they're now looking at him as a pregnant man, and then or then looking at him sliding down the pole as a stripper to hell, and then after that he is a pregnant man. My question is, where does the explanation for it come in? I think it's super duper important for us
Yeah.
to explain that when it happens. And it's interesting because let me talk about Lizzo. Hey, hey, I'm gonna talk about Lizzo. So I love the fact, number one, I love Lizzo's confidence. I love that Lizzo is from Detroit. What up, though? From the D. I love that. But one of the things that I am most concerned about, or I get concerned about, is I feel sometimes. Well, let me just cut straight to the chase. I don't need to see your ass at a basketball game. I love you. I think you are the dopest thing ever. I think you can sing your face off. I think you are drop dead gorgeous. But I don't need to see your ass cut out of some jeans at a basketball game. Now, when I said this to my daughter, who's a millennial, she was just like, oh, you're just old. Like, that's the new thing. Oh, you're just old. I disagree. I think that there's some stuff that we should probably censor a little bit, especially when you have fans. But what I love about Lizzo, and this is where I'm going to backtrack on the Lizzo situation. What I absolutely adore about Lizzo is that she took the time in a situation where I felt she was slightly inappropriate at this game to explain. Now, mind you, we used to twerk and shake and pop it and hip roll and all that other stuff back in the day too. But if I see another ass shaking, I don't know what I'll do. But Lizzo helped us out and gave us what I believe is a fairly reasonable explanation for her shaking her ass all the time. So I want us to take a look at this clip of Lizzo, who actually not trying to gatekeep, but she is definitely trying to let us know who built. First of all, there are women out here who cannot have children. So I thought it was slightly insensitive on that front. I'm not saying that that was his intention. I'm just saying, consider that. Also, I just don't, I don't necessarily feel like that is where that was coming from. To me, it felt more like, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. I don't care what any of you has to say about it. I am going to be me. And basically, this is what it is. Because I think there was another way to get that message through. Pam, what do you think?
Um, yeah, again, I think that, again, while I'm like you, I think I'm all, and I'm not a, that's not my lane. Let me
Creative.
also preface that, not in that space. So I definitely, I can applaud and I can appreciate artistic work in really all the forms that it comes in. I think that it's still at the end of the day, there is some responsibility whether
Mm-hmm.
you want it or not. I think whether
Mm-hmm.
if you're an artist and you're saying, hey, look, I'm not here to be a role model, I don't want to be a role model, you may genuinely feel that way, but that doesn't mean that kids and, people still aren't going to look up to you, whether you want them to or not. That's kind of, again, that's just that's part and parcel for, being a celebrity and having, such a huge, presence and following. And while
Absolutely.
yes, I can limit my children's activity, but I'm with my children a lot. I have the time, I have the resources to be able to do that. There are lots of children who don't have that. There are lots of
Mm-hmm.
children who get a lot of time alone with themselves or by
Mm.
themselves. They're thrown in
Absolutely.
front of a TV or they're
Absolutely.
thrown in front of a
Mm-hmm.
computer. And it's so
Mm-hmm.
easy to get access to these things and to these images. Again, even if you're a parent and you're trying to limit that exposure. And so I agree. I think having some context as to, why and it very much could have been in the space that you're speaking of, Lucia, that it was giving birth to work. And I'm fine with that because I think, yes, we birth many things beyond just children. But I think showing the belly, showing the kind of
Yeah, maybe
push
there was
on
just
a toilet.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm
him on
just
the
wondering if
toilet
there was
like
some other.
and then you juxtapose
Yeah,
that with him like that coming down the, yeah.
yeah.
So
I
maybe
think
it
it
was
just could have
all
been a better use of imagery. I think to get the point across,
absolutely.
it could have been a better use of imagery. And I think that no one is saying, "Hey, look, I can do what I want to do," and if that's and that is your choice, I think you just need to
Hmm.
understand that that also comes with that's going to come with other things.
Yes,
We're
it
all
is.
interconnected, whether we want to be or not. So it's
Hmm.
nothing that we do as individuals that does not have some type of impact that reverberates beyond our individual selves,
That's true.
and we have to
100%.
make sure that we're taking that into consideration.
100%. And just back to our topic of the night, which is whether or not, the entertainment industry is exploiting our trauma. I don't necessarily know that I could or would attach what Little Nas X and so many other people are doing as an example of trauma, but I do believe that there is a certain level of responsibility, and you really have to think about the audience. You have to think about the fact that music is a universal language. It is something that represents, when we see artists out here, to Lucia's point, a lot of people don't interact with us as people of color. They don't know who the hell we are until they see us in television, in music, on film. And I would say at least 60 to 70%, if not more, of what we see in entertainment, you're either a stripper, a drug dealer, a mother teaching your son how to be a drug dealer. Uh, you are a mean girl. And it's interesting. I was looking at a video clip, and I'm going to play this real quick. Pam, I know you. How much time do you have to go before you have to roll out of here?
About 5, 10 more minutes.
About 5 or 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So there is a clip I want to play you of Lemmy Plummer on The Breakfast Club. And I could not find the actual clip where he spoke about the fact that people want to see his brand of content. But I did find the clip where he talked about, he mentioned, unfortunately, he started let me give y'all some backstory before I run the tape. So Lemmy Plummer started a network called Zeus, very similar to what we were doing with Worth TV. In fact, we had planned on launching earlier this year, but we got sidetracked, redirecting our investment. We're going to get into that in the next few weeks too, so get your popcorn. But anyway, Zeus Network is a network that is on a streaming platform, and they've got Jocelyn Hernandez's show, Jocelyn's Cabaret. They have a show with Drea. They have Bad Girls Club. They have a bunch of like your reality TV stuff, like very comparable to what a Mona Scott would produce, or just along the lines of that. And he did an interview with the Jasmine brand, and he said, people watched and they subscribed. And people tuned in because this is what people want to see. And y'all want to know how much this man's company is about to be worth? Let me play this for y'all right quick so y'all can see just how much Luciano that he is expected to bring in off of the streaming platform.
So how do y'all make money off subscriptions? Or?
Yeah, so we charge $4.99 a month, and so we make money every month.
How many subscribers y'all got right now?
I can't tell you that, man.
Okay.
Because then everybody's gonna be counting my bread. Yes, we are very close to having a valuation of probably $1 billion, if not now. I mean, so yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how do y'all make money?
So listen here. Listen. So be clear. He said that they are very close to having a valuation of $1 billion. And the content that they air on that platform is ratchet as, well, some of it, not all of it. But people watch it. So my question is, Lucia, like I said, and even look, you work with Tyler and you're friends with Christian Keys, and he has a new show out about strippers. Am I just old? Am I just, out of touch? Is this something that we just have to get used to? Like streaming is the new TV? Do we have to get used to people just dropping that for a quota and fighting and bucking, is there any hope of real talent coming back ever? What say you, Lucia, Black female producer?
Well, I mean, we have to realize that because people are watching, it's going to continue to be produced. Period. End of story. It's where the money is, so people are going to produce it and make money off of it. And again, a double-edged sword. Entertainment can entertain you in a negative way, and it can entertain you in a positive way. And I wouldn't say that you're getting old, but you are getting older, right? So
I'm out of touch. I need to drop it like it's hot up in this mother.
I wouldn't say that you're out of touch because you have admitted, I've admitted, we like the ratchet also from time to time, right? Like you like love Cardi B and so forth. So it depends on the person and what they want to consume. And as you get older, I think you have less tolerance for the ratchet. You might still, be interested in it because it's almost like a train wreck or a car crash,
But then Cardi B goes and gets a deal with Pepsi. And then, it's like, really, like I'm trying to set this chat up, you guys. I had some technical difficulties because I really want to hear from everybody. But Cardi B got a deal with Pepsi. And nobody seems to be the morality police because ain't nobody canceling Lil Nas X. Ain't nobody canceling half of these rappers out here. No. I know in the entertainment and music industry, it's crazy because it's one of them situations where it's just like, damn, do I flip a table to sell a record right quick? Like, what do you do? Now, I would never do that. I'm sorry. I'm going to just be, I done paid my dues. I got my hit records. I am never going to be that. But I was, at one point, let us not forget that R&B diva situation, honey. Nikki Gilbert is a terror to work with. Producers are looking to get rid of her. I have a clip that I'm about to play you guys in a minute of a conversation, a really good conversation, actually, that I had with Angie Stone. She's one of my close friends in this industry. And I think that this clip kind of says it all. It's some kind of some behind the curtain stuff as it relates to R&B divas. But Pam, with the work that we are doing, with you working in public health, how have you seen with people that you encounter the impact? How have you seen the industry, the entertainment industry, affect what you do for a living and trying to help serve people in our communities and being on the boards of all these organizations?
I think too often, instead of it being kind of for escapism, just to kind of escape the realities that individuals are living to, it becomes something to aspire to. And I think that is because, again, we don't have the balance in the stories that are being told. We don't have the balance, again, in the types of entertainment that are being displayed. And I definitely understand, the return on the investment says go with the ratchet and turn the volume up as high as you can. So I totally get that. I think where we're missing the mark is by saying, if I'm going to put that type of content out here, and I know the true reason behind it is it's about the almighty dollar. Let's be honest and say that is what it is. But then Absolutely. Let's also say that I'm going to take and perhaps reinvest those almighty dollars to actually put in better infrastructures so that children can actually begin to be living in a way that they know that, well, this is truly entertainment. And perhaps what I'm watching could be detrimental if I did it in my own life with no cameras rolling, with no network behind me, with no producer saying cut, go, good. We can't edit our real lives. Absolutely. And I think that's where we've got to do a better job of saying, hey, and it can't be just the parents telling our children that's real, that's not real. I think it has to be coming from multiple voices, and it has to be coming from the individuals who are actually putting this content out here. Because I think we do a disservice to our communities when we know on purpose we're putting this type of content out here that's encouraging, again, women to go flip tables, Black women to continue to be mean to each other. The whole crabs in the barrel syndrome, the whole gangster, the whole like it's good
And
to have
people,
these bad things and play into the stereotypes because what we
mm-hmm,
don't get while we're making a buck on it, non-black people are
come
looking at
on,
this and they are making
come on,
decisions. That to
come
me,
on.
in terms of the public health space, that's where we can have instances to where we go and we report our loved one missing, and because she's got a
Mm-hmm,
record or because she used to
mm-hmm,
strip, no one is taking her seriously. That's
mm-hmm.
the reason that when our black young girls go missing, that they are labeled as runaways or that there is dysfunction in the household because
Yep.
everyone else is also viewing it and they're not looking at it just for entertainment purposes. They're using it to decide and make perceptions about who we are
That's right.
as black men and
That's
black
right.
women. And that's
That's
why
right.
we can't afford to continue to, put that high volume without making sure we are coming up on the other side and sharing at least a 50% more of
Yeah.
what we do in terms of the positive stories and narratives that we need to get out there, as
Mm-hmm,
well as saying, I'm going to reinvest this money into schools, into educational programs, into
mm-hmm.
artistic programs to teach a whole new generation of executive producers and directors and writers, and maybe equip them to write better for our people.
Absolutely.
You know what?
100%.
I have to emphasize what you're saying, Pam, because you hit it on so many levels as far as the consumer and the parent and the guardian or the leaders in the community that aren't on the entertainment side, on the executive side, making decisions about providing balance for our children, for our young people, with the negative and the positive images, and also the executives, the people in entertainment making intentional decisions about the balance. Sitting here having this conversation with you all, it made me think and about there are different networks that show both negative and positive of family images, romantic
Mm-hmm,
images, friendship
mm-hmm,
images. They show
mm-hmm.
negative and positive. And what I can't remember seeing is a lot of positive Black love images. Like they might have some Black movies or Black shows, but typically they're negative. And they'll have the balance with non people of color, with and positive and negative images. But when it comes to people of color, typically their narratives, their themes, their characters, their images are negative. And I can't remember where they have emphasized and had that balance with images of people of color. And you just brought that to my attention, like making me think about
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
and
one
they
of the things
don't.
that we talked about. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Pam.
No, I was saying like, and they don't, or when they do take an op, or they let's say they have an opportunity to do it. Like I know one of the things that we're seeing now is that some of the work in terms of being more, getting more diverse and getting more inclusive is getting a little kind of twisted. In terms of saying, okay, well, I'm gonna have this love, this rom com. I'm gonna keep my white male lead, but I'm gonna give a black male lead. Why not just give a both black and a black male and
Yeah.
female lead? Because I think again it would go a long way in our families and in our community seeing
What?
seeing a black couple function, not in chaos, not in dysfunction, but to function together, navigating more of a kind of reality, based space of what it means to actually navigate marriage and navigate,
Yes.
parenthood and work and life and whatnot. And so, I mean, yeah, we got a long way to go. We'll put it that way. We got a
We got
long
a
ways to go.
long way to go. And one of the things I was going to add to that is little white boys, they see themselves on television as superheroes and dads going to work, taking care of their families. And young white girls, they see themselves in beautiful homes and they can be lawyers and psychiatrists. And Black kids see nothing but a constant loop and replay of trauma, negativity. Like if you are a Black kid right now who is aspiring to be an entertainer, what are the real examples in front of us right now today that we can look at and say, I'd like to be like this person, or I'd like to do music like that, right? We got Denzel, we've got, the folks that were around when we were there, but these days everything is so social media driven that kids are now going around slapping teachers for TikTok videos. They're going around like it's just, it's come to a place where honestly it's like, what is the future if we don't make a turn? If we don't start doing artist development, if we don't start making films like the ones that y'all just talked about, if we don't start really digging deep and trying to figure out how to tell stories that entertain, uplift, and empower. People assume that just because you're telling a positive story or you're trying to say something uplifting, that it has to be cheesy or that it has to fall into the Hallmark space or whatever. No, there's some very real, raw, authentic, honest stories, a lot of which we tell. Which I'm gonna give you guys this trailer when Pam breaks. I want y'all to stick around to see this Broken Things trailer. And I want y'all to tell me if that's raw enough for y'all. I want you to tell me if that's something that in your opinion, but buckle up. But I'm gonna let Pam go because I know she has some stuff to do. Pamela,
and
any
one last
words?
thing, one last thing before I go, because as you were talking, it kind of really made me think about it. So I think as important as it is in this space to have more, artist development for our young people and for this next generation coming up, I think we also have to be mindful of, we also need more Black doctors. We also need more Black engineers. We need more Black researchers. We need more Black teachers. We need more Black psychiatrists, therapists, social worker, more Black dentists, more Black. We are at the bottom rung across every industry. Media entertainment included, with the exception of sports, and that's and that's two sports at that. We're talking about the NFL and the NBA, where we are the face of those industries. But if you exclude those industries, we're not the face of them. And those impact us every single day in real life. When you talk about the health of our community, the mental health of our community, your consumer is multifaceted and they have a life that they're living. And if you are going to take their money to entertain them, at least make sure that within your return on investment, you're factoring in, how can I also give back? That would be my ask.
What did Lizzo say? And that takes me back to the clip we played earlier with Lizzo. She's twerking, but she's doing a TED talk to explain to you where it came from. It's African, Caribbean, Black folks. She is also giving back to the community. So if you are taking from the community, and don't get it twisted, y'all, we don't eat if our community does not feed us.
Right.
Some white people buy our music and watch our movies, but for the most part, it is Black people. Lucia works for one of the biggest, promotion companies in the business, and they will tell you, Lucia, is it urban cities, your Detroits, your Chicagos that buy the tickets for the concerts, that spend their money and come out? So if people are spending their hard-earned money to come out and support artists and talent and entertainers and promoters, we have an obligation to make sure that even though we're giving them art, we are also giving them some kind of inspiration, some kind of motivation. They're learning something from it. They're getting something from it. We have to make more of an investment in our audience, because if our audience falls apart, think of it that way, y'all. If our audience falls apart and our consumers are just broken, then how does it continue? Right? You can't keep taking from a situation, a community, a group of people, and not sow back into them. And these narratives, while they're salacious and interesting, they're not helping.
Right.
They're not.
Absolutely.
So we're going to wrap it up in a minute, but I want to show you guys. Pam, I love you. Pam, wait. Let me get my applause going. Ah! Yay, Pam, we love you dearly. Thank you for all the work that you do. Good luck tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see you back with us on Sunday. Y'all, we're going to keep y'all a little longer. All right. 007, there she go. All right, y'all. So Lucia is my producer partner. So I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story before we get into this trailer. And this trailer is gonna be well, I don't want to set it up. I want you guys to watch it, and then I want you guys to support it. And I hope that you will go to our worth.tv YouTube channel and push like and subscribe. Please, 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 please push like and subscribe. And in case you don't know the spelling, this is it right here. Subscribe now, worthtv.com. This project is a documentary film. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of backstory. Like I said, I'm not gonna keep y'all all night, but it's a documentary film that Lucia and I produced. We produced a show called From the Bottom Up, and From the Bottom Up was a series about some amazing women who had hit rock bottom and were working to rebuild their lives, right? So we had Christine Beatty, who is one of the co-hosts of She Speaks Live. We had Stacey J. Johnson before she blew up and became the dating guru. We had Maya Campbell on the show. We had Kim Smedley. Y'all know Kim Smedley was the person who was doing the illegal butt injections, who went to prison. A lot of these women went to prison. I wanted to show you guys a clip, but it is what it is. So Sarah Stokes, I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory, and then I'll tell you about this documentary, and I'm gonna show you this trailer, and I need y'all to support and subscribe. So Sarah had been in jail, and we got her coming out of jail. And her husband, Tony, I remember it like it was yesterday, kept yelling. Her father was there. Her husband kept yelling, "You pedophile, child molester." And we're like, what is going on? What is going on? Long story short, Sarah finally admitted. It was season 1, right, Lucia, when the whole thing kind of fell apart? Season 1, I believe. Yeah, it was season 1. No, well, I'm sorry. It was the end of season 1, the very last episode of season 1. Sarah had a complete breakdown, and she shared a lot of very revealing information. And back to capitalizing off of trauma, which is why it's so important for us to have this conversation. We made the decision at the time not to capitalize off of Sarah's trauma. We thought it was too personal. We did not want to. And had we shown some of the clips that you're going to see in this trailer, then we probably would have had a whole lot more viewers on the series. But we took the high road, and we decided that we were not going to, do that. So come season 2, we actually had an interview with Sarah. And you can see those interviews as well on worthtv.com. We had an interview with Sarah, and she said this time she really needed to open up about what was going on with her father and the sexual assault. And we said, okay, cool. So she opened up about it, and then the show aired, and we wrapped, and we got a call from her ex-husband, now ex-husband, Tony, saying, they got him. We told you. We're like, what? What are you talking about? Well, it turns out that Sarah's father had been molesting the little white girl across the street from him since she was 12 years old. He was also sleeping with the mother, and he had also been a serial child predator in Port Huron. Lou, is there anything I'm leaving out that's pertinent before we show this trailer? I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. All right, so you guys brace yourselves. It is heavy, but I'm going to show you this trailer, and then I'm going to let y'all go. All right, but we'll come back after that. All right, here we go.
Men and children had their lives cut short because of domestic violence.
This kind of violence is prevalent in our society.
Unfortunately, many people have experienced or even watched their loved ones go through
adolescent relationship abuse. No boundaries.
We're talking about domestic violence.
I just don't want it to be about no damn domestic violence. I'm a fucking singer!
My mother's boyfriend beat her so badly one time that I had to go see her at the hospital. That really did something to me. Not only did he ruin my mother's life, but he helped ruin mine. How could you even look at yourself in the mirror? How could you even want to be alive after you touch your own child?
And then Tony's mad.
Well, it was kind of hard when she was in jail, Tony.
Stop judging me. I'm tired of y'all judging me. I don't be wanting to mess my kid's life up.
No, you can't. You can't.
This ain't just now all of a sudden we fighting back and forth.
Dad doesn't just do that just to do that, right?
He shouldn't do it at all.
My daughters need to see a strong mother. And I am strong. I am strong. I just called her because I said I need her. I was like, Mom, please come get me.
We're there for you no matter what situation in your life. I love you no matter what.
She ain't going with you either. Pedophile, child molesting ass bitch.
Tony, that is bullshit.
Did you like my polo?
Once again, everybody goes off on me.
We're living with someone that molested our mom.
Sarah's daddy is a fucking animal. That motherfucker's a abomination. Do something dumb so I can get locked the fuck up and do something to him.
I'm being molested multiple times.
They have some kind of a past. That past do not dictate their future.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of broken things.
There it is. Woo woo! When are we gonna do DJ Horton?
I'm glad you came back on this woo woo because
right.
I haven't watched the trailer in a long time, and that just did something to me.
Yeah.
It did. It took me back to when we were filming and when we were in the house with them and when we were experiencing the trauma that they are already experienced, listening to them talk about it. And I would be crying daily filming with them. I would have to leave the area, walk into the kitchen or walk outside while we were filming, shed my tears, and then come back inside and keep it together and continue to film. And it just breaks my heart that Sarah went through that and that so many other women, children, people experience any portion of that negativity and trauma in their lives. And you know, the statistics are ridiculous as far as children being molested and pedophiles in people's families, and always stay away from uncle, stay away from, no, stop saying stay away from. Don't have them around your kids.
Don't have them around your kids. The onus is on the adults. And it's crazy because I think we all have someone in our, well, not we all, many people have people in their family where they're like, don't you go upstairs such by yourself, and don't say nothing about such and such. And that's part of the reason why and I, again, my shirt says let that shit go. I'm letting that shit go from last week. But that's part of the reason why I was so frustrated with this whole idea that we're not supposed to talk about the shit that really goes on in our communities, because now we're in a situation and we're going to go more into this next week because, I'm not going to drag this on, but we're in a situation where now Sarah is kind of looking at things, just to be fully transparent. And we shot this whole documentary, worked on it for years, put a lot of an investment in it, mentally, financially, like Lou said, emotionally. I remember being in that house while we were filming. First of all, when we went into the house, it was crazy. When we walked into the house, it looked like a movie. Like it was like Misery or some shit. It was crazy. It was like neat almost in a weird way. And there was this smell. Do you remember? It was like a candle burn. She had like this oil burn, this cranberry smell. I will never forget. And before we got into the house good, when she got to the stairs, her father said, did you get my letters? Did you get my letters? And she's like, yeah, Dad, I got your letters. And he was like, yeah, I sprayed them with cologne. This was before we got into the house. I sprayed him with cologne because I wanted you to remember me. This is her father. Now, I'm not going to get into all of the other stuff because you'll get that on our streaming platform when we launch it and launch the documentary. But I also remember her saying she was singing gospel songs, and she said she was singing to the women in jail, and she was singing gospel. And he said, oh, I want you to sing something slinky and sexy and sultry. And I was like, huh? And it was just really, really hard to sit through and watch this animal basically just come on to his daughter in front of us, which was crazy.
Yeah, I remember running out of that house like something. No,
I came out there. I was like, nope. I was like, right. I was like, nope, I can't do it. I'm sorry. And on the one hand, we were like, oh my God, like, what is this that we're seeing? What is this that we're documenting? Y'all ain't seen nothing. Like the trailer that we just played is just like this much of all the stuff that we have on this documentary. And I'm gonna be fully transparent. The reason I was so invested in it is because my mom was sexually, she dealt with issues with as a child, you know what I'm saying? And I have to be careful and kind of dance around it because there are still people who don't really want to have that conversation. I respect that. But my mom, I got permission. Talk about getting permission. I got permission from my mama to use my resources and my relationships to really bring light to this story. Child sex trafficking, child molestation, all of it sort of goes hand in hand, and kids being missing and people being missing. It all kind of goes together. And we really have to get to a place. Lou, remember when we started pitching this thing out, what we were getting back from folks? It was just kind of like, it's so dark,
too heavy.
Yeah, where's the levity? I'm like, where is the levity in being sexually assaulted by your own father? And then we did our town hall discussions, our She Speaks Live town hall discussions. Remember those? Yeah. Every time we did a town hall discussion, not just the town hall discussions. Remember, we were at Essence Festival doing interviews.
Anytime we talk about broken things in the subject matter, someone says either I dealt with it, or my niece is dealing with it, or someone they know. And that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And then you guys remember the friend, Lucia. Remember the friend from high school who told the story about being down in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And the father was, oh my God, y'all, they're so, there's so many. And the reason that I'm bringing this up in this conversation about capitalizing off of our trauma, we for so long held off on releasing this documentary because we did not want, because there's been a lot of, I ain't gonna tell the family business, but there's been a lot of back and forth because what happens is when people speak out, I will say this, when people speak out about sexual assault, child molestation, trafficking, all that other shit, and they see other people get clowned for telling their truth, then it starts to make them feel like they don't want to share their story. Then it starts to make them feel like nobody cares. We got, we have all the release forms and everything we need to just release the project. But we've decided that we're going to think it through, pace it. I'm gonna let Lucia do the heavy lifting because she's the partner that don't play.
Got to do what I got. But it's important. It's so important.
It's very important. Yeah.
Important.
It's very important. If y'all just jumping in here, we're talking about our documentary film, which we've had some delays with, Broken Things, but you can see the trailer on our worthtv.com page and our worth.tv page. And like you said, Lou, it's important. You got to tell that story for all those young girls out there.
We have to shine light on it. We have to bring awareness on every platform, in every corner, in every conversation, so that people can feel free to tell their story and get healing. And hopefully it won't happen as much to younger generations. We have to protect our children. And so we have to talk about it.
And that's the whole thing. The issue is, do you save the reputation of the adults in the building and sacrifice the opportunity for the kids to really know that when someone is looking at you a certain way or cornered you or taking you upstairs in a room and, putting their hands in places they don't belong, that is not okay. And you have to tell somebody. And this whole whistleblower shaming thing is, and what you say, Lou?
We have to believe them. We have to
Period. Period. Because that's why so many people are going missing. Either they're running away, like they say, nobody leaves home unless home is the mouth of a shark. They're either running away from a bad situation or they're running into a bad situation. So we're going to continue. I wasn't able to take as deep a dive, had some last minute technical issues per usual. Wasn't able to take as deep a dive into the conversation about our responsibility as producers, as entertainers, as filmmakers, to tell these stories. I understand it's not as compelling. It ain't as many people watching this live this week as there were last week because of all the drama and the bullshit connected to it. But we're going to keep amplifying this message. We're going to keep using our platform to share real stories about real women, real people, and we're going to keep, raising awareness to missing women and girls, because like I said, we got 125,000 people who weren't even paying attention to the doggone missing posts that we were doing. But because I got all caught up in some shit with the brat, now people are looking and watching and sharing, and I don't regret any of it. And you can see that whole thing. I'm not going to go into it because like I said, I want my girl Let That Shit Go shirt today. Christine told me not to talk about it anymore. I'm sad Christine couldn't join us, but she's got a lot going on.
I'm going to talk about it for just a second. Nikki,
Sure.
Just because, people are listening and will watch this eventually, I have to not co-sign. I have to tell everyone behind the scenes, in private, every day, all day, you are advocating for to get rid of the negativity in people's lives, whether it be the missing, whether it be the assaulted, whether it be the traumatized, whether it be the disrespected, whether it be someone who's stolen from. You do the work every day behind the scenes, privately. People can say what they want about whatever you say publicly, but I know I talk to you damn near every day for the last, I don't know,
20 years.
7 8 years. And in all of our conversations, there's always some kind of advocacy and awareness that we are trying and you are pushing for privately and behind the scenes. Forget the public facing. So people can say what they want. I know the truth about what you do and where your heart is. And I just want people to know that privately behind the scenes, the conversation.
We do this for real. We do this for real.
Right.
Thank you, Lou. That is, I mean, and it's not, y'all listen. Y'all listen, Linda, listen. I would probably make a whole lot more money if I just decided to flip over a table.
Truly.
I would probably have a whole lot more opportunities to get on TV and talk if I stayed in a fight with somebody publicly every week. And it's interesting because I think people think if you don't cuss somebody's ass out and you're not on that, if I'm not doing that, right, that I don't have that spirit in my baby toe. I do. I'm from the D. I'm from Detroit, y'all. I have moments where I be on the phone venting like a mug, but I think it's so important for us to leverage the platforms that we have to try and do positive, good things in our community, because if we're not doing it, then it doesn't happen, right? I say all the time, there I go advocating and putting my foot in my mouth. And then I have to remind myself, oh, well, because at the end of the day, I think that, what we're doing is important. I think that while we may not have millions of people watching us, while we may not have the support financially for our platform, while we may not have, all the resources because we've chosen not to exploit our trauma and instead try to figure out a way to share our stories of trauma in positive ways, then, it's a good thing. So with that being said, it's funny that, Lou, you said this. I want to try to close this thing out by sharing a video with you all, which is a clip from a conversation. Once upon a time, y'all, we actually were in a studio and we shot episodes and they were really cool. And I had a chance to sit down and have a conversation with one of my favorite people in the world. In fact, she reached out to me to make sure I was okay with all this other drama, Angela Laverne Brown Williams Stone. Good. So I want to first thank you, Lou. Best partner ever. Lou gets it done. We be figuring. I'm like, Lou, can you fast the bunny somewhere? We need $2 to go. And we do the good work. We do the good work. And I've been trying to do the good work since R&B Divas. And what's really foul is that a lot of people have used what they see on R&B Divas or what they saw on R&B Divas to, take away the influence or impact of my messaging, because they're like, oh, she's a bitch. Nobody likes you anyway. You're a terrible person. But I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving up. Like the song I played in the very beginning. Every song I write, every show I do, everything I create is going to have some learning curve in it, something positive, something that is advocating for us, because it is just too important. And imagine a world without R&B Divas. Speaking of R&B Divas, I'm going to share this clip with you guys. You can watch the whole thing if you go and you register on worthtv.com. If you whoop, there go my earring again.
It does not want to stay.
It does not want to stay. If you register at if you register on worthtv.com, but to magnify what Lucia just said about her homegirl, that's a good person. Here's our assistant Angie Stone in a clip from our conversation there.
There was a lot of manipulation that was going on behind the scenes of R&B Divas.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, this thing was started as an opportunity for us to go from, like you say it best, Angie. We were at one point A-list, then we kind of went down to, you know, in music to B-list, right?
C-list. We was trying to get back on A-list.
And it was a really positive, good movement.
Yes.
And there were people in your ear.
Yeah. Always people in our ears.
Our ears.
That were trying to distract us from the ultimate goal, which was to become relevant again. It wasn't like we were irrelevant, but the fact that the industry was changing, and we were not ready to be yesterday's news. So the whole purpose of the show was not to be Real Housewives of Atlanta, but they kind of turned into a beat-up squad. And before we could get going as sisters and song and of spirit, we became like catfight divas.
Yeah.
And that was something that I didn't sign up for. And I know that when you created the show, along with Faith Evans, all of us were in the same space, wanting to ride off each other's shoulders to get back.
Empower each other and be real sisters.
All right, y'all. Well, there it is. There it is. That's just a clip from the interview. I want to say thank you to my partner, Lucia Ash. I want to remind all of you that you can subscribe to worthtv.com now. I'm fully committed to doing this show once a week, every Sunday night, live. And then eventually, as we grow, we'll do it more often. Oh, real quick. Thank you to all of our new subscribers. Oh my God, I got a bunch of new subscribers on YouTube. Whoop, whoop. Shout out to all the people on LinkedIn that are watching us. Y'all, I'm learning this YouTube thing. We are manning the machine. COVID done changed a whole lot for all of us. And I'm going to start doing my nights with Nikki IG Lives. In fact, I'm going to jump on IG Live after this just to say hello to everybody. But I think that's it. My earring done fell out for the 5th time during this broadcast. Lucia told me to take the shit out, but I had to leave it in. Thank you to everybody who supported us. We are growing this thing. If you want more information on how you can join us at worthtv.com, please just send an email to info@fromthebottomupfoundation.org. I'm going to Detroit to shoot a movie in a couple of weeks. I'm sorry, I should have told y'all that. I'm going to Detroit to shoot a movie in a couple of weeks. And you know what? Before I get out of here, I have got to, oh my God, play this promotion from Brownstone. And then we are wrapping up after that because guess what? Brownstone is about to be in a city.
We just killed the show. We got more to go. We just killed the show. We got more to go. 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 Got more to go. We got more to go.
I messed up. I love it. Brownstone back again. That was the wrong promotion, but I'm figuring this thing out.
It was beautiful.
Y'all, thank you guys. It was cute, right? It was supposed to be. We're gonna be in. Hold on. Let me tell y'all where we at it because I was supposed to tell y'all where we are in this next city that we finna be in because I want to make sure. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna find this here video to play for y'all to tell y'all where we finna be. I think that this is the video that tells y'all where we are next. I think so. Okay, it's not playing. Anyway,
tell them.
I tried. It didn't work. We will be in Milwaukee on, I believe it is, oh God, where's the flyer? I don't know, you guys. See, that's why I want to play the video. We're going to be in
November?
No, we're not October. We're going to be in November 20th, I believe. We're in Milwaukee. Yes, November 20th, I think. But it's on my page. I posted it. And yeah, I think that is it. So thank you guys for watching. She Speaks Live. Thank you, Lou, for everything. And y'all will see Lucia again in next week, maybe. All right? All righty. Thank you. I love y'all. And I want to say what's real speaks to the heart. And you will always get what's real over here. So please make sure you subscribe to worthtv.com. I love and appreciate y'all. IG, I'm coming to say hi. And then I'm going to go back because I'm out of here tomorrow.